Hello, 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 hello. All right. Yeah, welcome to my channel today. My name is Creative Coder Jet. So today we'll be looking at how to install Evolution API for WhatsApp API through Docker. This installation is free, so it's just self-hosted, so you can manage it yourself. So you can enjoy everything and use the instances, create any type of number of instances that you want. So we'll go through it. In my last video, we talked about how to create the cloud version. We created the cloud version here. So I will share the video, the link to the video, so you can check it out on how to create the cloud version. So you can create the cloud version. We did that here. Okay. So straight we'll go to AWS to create an EC2 so that we can use AWS. So you can use any cloud service, AWS, Hezina, Heroku, GCP, that's Google Cloud Platform. So I want to use AWS for this. So I'm going to get an EC2. So if you go to the documentation, they give some recommendations how to run the Docker. So you can check it out. The solution how to run it with Docker here. So this, let's go to this. So we can use this. So how the Docker compose should be. Quick, so I'm going to show all those things so you don't need to bother about the documentation, but you can take a look at it and see how what they do here. Okay, all right. So let's go and do that. So I will spin up an instance, an AWS instance, EC2. So let me call the instance Evolution API. API app. Let's say app one. So the next thing is to select an application. And the image. So the image I'm going to use Ubuntu, and I'm going to use an LTS that is free tier eligible. I'm going to use 24.04 as HTS. So the next thing is to choose the instance type. I will go with T2 micro. It's also free. So if you're on free tier, you can also use it. I'm going to do that. For my key pair, you can create your key pairs, but I'm going to use an old key pair I have. So I'm going to use an old key pair. So for my network group, my security group, I have a security group. I'm going to select one of mine. So if you don't know how these settings are done, please refer back to my video. I've done a video on this. I will still share it under the link under this video. So how to create a security group, how to create your key pair, how to select your instance type. So configuration, my volume. Let me make this 30. So 30, you are still eligible if you're under free tier. So you are allowed to use at least 30. And max, I think max of 30. So that is done. I will launch the instance. So the instance has initiated. Let me go to instances. I should see that instance running. So if I go to running, so you can see that I have the instance running here. So I can click on it. So take notes. So this is the public IP and this is the private IP. So don't bother. I will still take down this server immediately after the video. Yeah, so don't bother to come and be checking on it. All right. So the next thing is to connect to the instance. So I'm going to connect. I'm not connected on the browser here, so I'm not going to SSH in with an SSH client. So I'll use the browser to connect. So it will connect me here. So it's coming up. Okay, so I've connected. So let me just clear this. I'm going to clear this here. So before I start anything, so that we'll be faster. So if you recall now, so my instance is up and it's running, and this is my public IP. So, but I don't want to use IP. I want to use a domain. So I already have a domain which I have before. I've showed it in my previous videos. So I have this domain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add evolution API to it. So that's what I will do. So let me get so I will add a subdomain under it so I can use it. So let me add an A record. I'll add an A record that will point to evolution API, and the IP will be the public IP of the instance. So that's zero. So we should take this off, not proxy yet. So we can leave auto or can do 1 minute. So we have evolution now. So if we check this, no, if we check this, okay, if we check this, so nothing is running there. So yeah, that's good. We have not set anything, so nothing is running there. So that is where we want to come. Okay, so we have connected. So the first thing to do, so I prepared a document here. I'm going to share with you on the video, so you can use it. Okay, so what you're going to do, so I'm going to take you stepwise here. So the first thing is to update and prepare your system. So we're going to use this because we're using Ubuntu, a Linux system. So we're going to use update and upgrade. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to update the newly initiated instance. So you update it and you upgrade it. So you wait for the updating and the upgrading to complete. So after that is completed, the next thing we have to do, we need to install Docker and install Docker Compose. So this is the command. So I will still share this document. You can get it. This is the command to install Docker and Docker Compose. Okay. Okay. Yeah, likely you will still see this. So I don't know. I was usually seeing this list when I was checking this. So what I did was I just took this off. Let me reboot this instance. Just rebooted the instance. Since I've done the upgrading and updating, I just rebooted the instance. Yeah, so I will connect again. I will connect again. Okay, so I will connect again. I clear this. So let's install Docker and Docker Compose. So install Docker. So the next step is to create we need to create the evolution API. But before we do that, we can do a testing to check if it was installed. So we can check that. So we have to check the version. So I can add that here. So let's do a check. So we can check here. So we can use Docker version and Docker Compose version to check the version. Okay, so let's do that. So our Docker version, we're using this, and the Compose version, so we are okay, we are good. Yeah, so we go to the next step. So let's create a directory. We'll cd into it too. So that's where our evolution API is going to live. So I'm going to create a directory. The next step is let's create an env file. So I'm going to create an env file. Now, if you go to evolution API, if you go to their docs, so basically they want you to have some environmental variables set on installation. So you should add there at least few environmental variables you should add. So one of them is the authentication API key. It should be there. The port should be there. So if you go to environmental variables, so this is compulsory. You need this. So this is the server URL. You need that. So these are the possible environmental variables, but most are some of them are compulsory to add. So you need the ports, you need the server URL, yeah, and also for the database you have to choose between PostgreSQL, MySQL, the one you're going to use. So all the environmental variables are here. So I'm just going to show you the environmental variables. So here you can see we have the ports. The server URL is going to be the my server subdomain. Okay, so you have the authentication API key, so you can just add your API key, just like a password. So the database, you have to enable it. So true, and the type that you're using, the provider, then the URL. So the URL should be username and password here for PostgreSQL and the version and slash evolution then. So if you're going to use Redis, you're going to enable it and also give the URL. So that is that. All right. So I'm going to do that now. So if you see, we have this prefix evolution 2. Yeah, so let's do this. So I'm going to paste this here. Okay, so Control O, enter, Control X. Okay, so the next thing, let's create a Docker file. So that is where the Docker compose is going to be. So let's create that. So and what is the content of your Docker file? So the services evolution API. So that's the image version 2.11. So it depends on what you want. You can use any version, but I'm using 2.11. Or later we'll still see the various versions. Yeah, the various versions are here. So this is 2.1, and you can get 2.11 here. So all right, so I'm gonna get that. So the port I'm mapping out as 8080. The database, the Redis, we're gonna do that. Okay, so I'm gonna add this here. I'm gonna paste this. So that is it. Okay, still the same thing, Control L, enter, Control X. So we are done with that. So the next, so we should run the containers. So the next is to run the containers and now check. So let's run the containers. So the containers we are running PostgreSQL, Redis, and the evolution. So three containers from the Docker. So we have some patience for it to install. Yeah, so it's done, and we can see our containers. So we can see our containers, the Redis, the Postgres, and the evolution API. So those are the three containers. So we are on point. So I'm going to clear this. The next thing we're going to do, so you should see the three. So we can test this. If we test this, remember we're running it on port 8080. That was the port that we exposed. So if we should see a JSON, so we can see it. We come to the evolution API. So it's working, and this is working. Okay. So the next thing is to do is to install let's install Nginx. So we are going to install it. We'll use this command so we can get SSL. So for now it's running without SSL. If we check, so if we check this, it should be running. It's still gonna come. So let's just install the SSL so that it will be propagating. So we just install SSL here. Let's install ng, sorry. So the next thing we should do is to configure the ngs for reverse proxy. So we're going to create a site available file for that particular subdomain. So that is this. So we're going to create it. Let me clear this. So we'll create this, and we need this. Okay. So I'm going to get that. So that is for HTTP for now. I've not done for HTTPS. So we have to send it. That's why this is not working yet. So it's after this, it should work. Yeah, so we are now sending, reversing this now to this. So anything that comes here, because that comes here, we go to this on the server. Yeah, so for more you can look at Nginx and reverse proxy. Okay, so Control O, enter, Control X. So we have to enable it. So to enable it, you use this command. So the Nginx we just added now, we have to enable it. So we have to enable this here. I'm going to paste. So it is enabled and reloaded. So we have to enable it. So the next thing is to test HTTP. So we can test this. We call HTTP. If we test, we should see a HTML. So the Nginx is working. So that is good. Yeah. So the next thing is we can open this. So this should be working now. Yeah. So it is not secure because it doesn't have SSL. So if we can go here, we can go here. and we can see evolution. API is installed. You can see so, but it doesn't have SSL yet. So I'm gonna wait for the SSL. So let's wait for the SSL. Okay, so let's enable HTTPS now. So the next thing we're gonna do is to remember when we added our area code, we left it at DNS. So it's good to leave it at DNS. If you proxy it, your certificate will not work because it will proxy it, so it will be looping. All right, so we are gonna do that. So let's give a certificate. So you should add your email to the certificate. So I'm gonna add my email to the certificate to issue that certificate. So I'm gonna clear this. I'm gonna clear this. So let's request for Chatbot certificate. So we should be requesting for a certificate so that this should have, yeah, so deploying the certificate successful. Okay, that was successful. Okay, so it will auto update it. You can also see the time that it will also update. So we can reload it again, just like we did before. We can reload it again here. And boom, we are good. So we can test HTTPS now. We can test this now. So if we test HTTPS, perfect. So we have it now. So connection is secure. Yeah. So I want to go to this. So this will not be secure. So this is manager. Yeah, secure. So we can put our password. So if you remember, we added a password. So for that, um, so we can check the Certbot renewal. So we can check the Certbot renewal when it's going to renew. So we can do that here. So the next hour, so it should be within 13, 14, 15 hours. That is Certbot will issue the certificate again. So 10 hours from now. Okay. So we have done. So we are done. Everything is okay. Yeah. So let's go here. Let's look for that our passwords. We added a password here. We added our password here. Okay. This was our password. So boom, I'm gonna create this. Boom, we are logged in. So the next thing is I can create an instance. Okay, let me say law firm Canada, for instance, maybe let me just find a number. Um, Let me get the country code of Canada. Okay, +1. Okay, so let's use +1 then. I can just do this, just to create an instance. So instance created. So in my previous video, I showed how to connect. So you can watch that. I will tag those on this video. So thank you for watching. So what we did in this video was to install it. So this is self-hosted. You can manage it yourself. Everything is now yours. So if you want to check you now have ability to check your database, so you can manage your database. So there was something I wanted to show from the database. Yeah, so the schema, normally Postgres have public schema. Yeah, so you can add this in front of when you are put in your Docker. So you can add this, you can add it. So database connection URL for the env. So you can add it like this and put schema public. But if you don't have many database running on your Postgres, you don't need it. Automatically Postgres will determine it and add it for you. So I did not add it. If you check the database URL from the env, if you check, I didn't add it, but it automatically pick it because there is no other this in running there. So database URL. So there is the connection URL. This is it. So evolution, but you can add that schema. You can add the schema to it. This. So you can add it in front of yours like this. But if you have multiple DB running, you can do so. If you want to check your database to connect to your database, you can use this command and connect. So this command is going to connect you to your database. So that's your Postgre now. So we are connected, and you can see you can create your schema, and you can do a lot of things. Maybe you want to list all the databases, so you use L for Postgre, just like MySQL has theirs. So you can use L to list. So you can see these are the tables that you have here. You can also use other commands. So I placed some commands here that you can use to look at your table. All right. So thank you very much. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video. This file will be attached, but will be based on people that like, yeah. So to encourage us to be creating more of this type of videos.